Hello guys, this is Anita here from Sourdough Bakes by Ani and Tej. So today I'm going to teach you how to make muffins, sourdough muffins with combination of 100% whole wheat and a little bit of semolina. I'm not using maida over here. So what I have done is like I've taken 1/3 cup of semolina. Now this semolina I'm going to soak it in a water which will be like in 1/3 cup of water. I'll be soaking this 1/3 cup of semolina for 30 minutes, and after soaking I'll be grinding it into this paste kind of thing. Okay, so it looks like this. Now I'll be taking that semolina paste and in this I'll be adding salt, which is again as per your taste. So I'm taking 1 teaspoon, little bit. Now in this I'll be adding 1 tablespoon of sourdough culture, fresh. It is usually for the muffins I use the fresh sourdough culture and no discard in this. So this is 1 tablespoon of whole wheat sourdough culture. So when you're making muffins, ensure that you're taking a good protein flour of wheat, not very weak one. You know, the protein in that flour is nice and strong enough. Now I'll be mixing the starter into this. Now after mixing the starter, I'll be adding 1.5 cup of whole wheat flour. This is 1 cup. So for kneading over here, you can take buttermilk or a regular milk. Over here, instead of milk, I have taken nut milk of cashew. So it's nearly half jug of it's half 1 cup of nut milk which I have taken, but I will not be adding everything all together. It will be a slowly process. So after mixing this nicely, I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of butter. So if you are not interested in adding butter, you can use 2 tablespoons of pure homemade ghee also. With your clean hands, now you'll be kneading it. So the dough should be a consistency of the chapati dough, but not very hard and neither very soft, but a medium kind of dough which you are supposed to make it. So I'm adding 1/3 cup of nut milk into this. So even adding the nut milk gives the softness into your dough. Many people, they add eggs also, but I don't prefer egg. If you wish, you can add the egg, then eliminate the nut milk. So it depends on flour to flour. Some wheat variety, they may absorb more water, and some they don't. So if you find that your dough needs more milk, then you can add more milk into that. So you need to knead it for 1 to 2 minutes or 5 minutes until you get a smooth dough. I feel it is a little bit hard, so I'll be adding a little bit more of nut milk. This nut milk, I've made it from cashew. You can use almond also. And if you don't want to use 100% whole wheat, then you can use 50-50 combination also. 50% you can make maida, use maida, and 50% the whole wheat. So you need to knit it nicely so that it's a smooth dough. Everything is being absorbed. And as it is 100% whole wheat, after kneading the dough, you need to keep it into the fridge immediately, or at least after 1 hour. Just keep the dough into the fridge after the kneading, as we want the slower fermentation in our dough. So minimum for 20 hours or 24 hours you can do the fermentation, slow fermentation in the fridge. So I always prefer glass bowl, so that for keeping my dough, so that I can see the fermentation. It makes easy to see through at the base, like, you know, how much it has fermented. So after kneading of 5 to 10 minutes, just apply oil over it, so that the outer part of the dough doesn't become dry in the fridge. And after doing this, just cover it in a plastic bag. And now after 30 minutes, just keep it into the fridge. Ensure that your fridge is having temperature between 6 to 7 or max to max 8 degrees, so that the dough ferments slowly in the fridge. This dough was in the fridge, and when I removed it after 20 hours, it was a little bit harder. So I just kept it 2 hours outside, and it risen very nicely. You can see from the bottom, like, it has fermented very nicely. So yes, now we will be shaping it. So you need to ensure that your dough is fermented. The fermentation is the key. Now I'll be removing it. I'm just dusting the rice flour over it. You can use any other flour also. Remove the dough from the ball. See, you can see the tears. So it shows that the gluten was very weak in this wheat. sprinkle a little bit more flour over here. Now turn it down. Little bit flour on the top also, and now you will just roll it. Roll it till 1/2 inch thickness, and in the meanwhile you can keep your skillet or the thick tawa. Over here we'll be baking the muffins over the thick pan, iron pans or the skillet kind of thing. You can take a idli tawa also, which is quite thick. I'll show you. So I have rolled it sufficiently, 1/2 inch thickness, if you'll see. And the tawa looks like this, which is quite thick, so that it doesn't burn the muffins while getting cooked over it. So I'll start to preheat this one also. Now after rolling 1/2 inch thickness, now you will be cutting it. So I'm just using a simple bowl. And just keep it for resting. So the size will depend on the the bowl which you have taken for cutting it. Now for the leftover dough, you can just roll it, make a ball. And again roll this thing for 1/2 inch of the thickness. So the ones which you are rolling in the end, just keep it for 15 to 20 minutes separately, so that they rise a little bit more. And the ones which you have cut initially, you'll be baking them. You'll be cooking them first. So again, for the leftover dough, I'll just make a ball, so nothing goes waste actually. If you're not comfortable with 100% whole wheat, you can take 50% semolina, but ensure that you soak the semolina and then grind it, and then in that you knead the whole wheat flour. if you are avoiding maida or the refined flour. So over here till the end we have used the dough. So nothing goes waste. It may happen that because of the butter, the fermentation may go very slow, very slow. Now I'm preheating my pan. And let them rest for 15 to 20 minutes. Now after 15-20 minutes, as the tawa has been, or the skillet has been preheated nicely on the gas, 15 minutes at low flame. Now I'll just apply a little bit of ghee or butter. If you don't want to use any oil, any ghee, so you can use any cold press oil. Now I'll be placing these on the skillets. So this doesn't require any oven. You can make them on the tawa also. And now you'll be covering it. Ensure that you are covering it with a good with a lid, which is like covering all these things nicely. I'll just sprinkle a little bit of water also. Sorry, I'll be baking 4 in one go. And just cover it nicely so that there is no air to, move out. So depending on how wide is your tawa or the skillet, you can plan accordingly. So mine is in one go, I'm able to do 4. I'll be keeping the remaining 3 on the different skillets. But you can use, after this, you can use the remaining ones also for baking. So after a minute, we'll be just checking it. and ensure that it is being cooked at very low flame. So these muffins, they go very well with your jam or the, the early morning tea. So you don't need oven for this. So if your tawa is not being preheated nicely or not being greased properly, so this kind of thing may happen. I'm just applying a little bit of ghee over it so that it doesn't stick. First I'm using 100% whole wheat with little bit of semolina. So yes, getting this thing. Because many people, they prefer whole wheat, more percentage of whole wheat in their muffins. So it takes 3 to 4 minutes to bake, to cook. And once it is being, it's on the pan, don't keep on opening frequently the lid. Let it get cooked nicely. So it may take 2 to 3 minutes at each side at low flame. So this is how you'll be cooking your muffins on the tawa or the skillet. If you're taking very thin skillet or tawa, so it may burn your muffins, but you can try that, no issues. And one more thing, if your dough is not fermented, the muffins won't come out so soft. They will be quite hard. So the fermentation is a key. If your dough is not fermented, give it time, let it get fermented nicely, and then start making muffins. So it nearly took 8 minutes for me. So your muffins are ready. Yeah, it has been cooked very nicely. So it really took me 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah, 8 to 10 minutes. So they are ready to go with the morning tea. These were the remaining muffins which I couldn't accommodate in the earlier skillet and tawa. So I just immediately kept it on the next preheated tawa. These are also done. So it usually take 8 to 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes at low flame. There's one more method of making muffins, is like you just knead everything together except the starter, and after 45 minutes of kneading you will be adding the sourdough culture into that. So that's the difference. So that will take care of the gluten part. Like if you find very the dough is tearing very much, so in order to avoid that situation, you can knead everything together first initially except for the sourdough culture, and then after 1 hour or 45 minutes you will be adding the sourdough culture. Knead it nicely, let it rest for half an hour, and then shift it to the fridge and start the process. Wow, it's ready. So your English muffins are ready to go with your morning breakfast. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.